Hello. All right, if you're joining me here for our final day, you know the drill, which means right now I'm going to go in and get this baby going live over on to Facebook. So give me a moment. All right, there we go in there. Okay. Hello, Mary Lou. Okay, I am going to set this to everyone. Hi, JJ. I'm going to hit in hello there. All right, so hello to all of you that are joining me live on Zoom. Hello to everybody that's joining me live from Facebook. And to those of you that are listening to this at a later date as a recording or the podcast, because I'm flipping all of these episodes into a podcast series. It is Thursday, January 27th. This is as good as I am going to be looking. I don't know about any of you, but I am an ocean of emotions today with everything happening in Canada here with our trucking convoy. And I'm all about the good vibes today. I have no mascara, eye makeup on because I just keep crying and then it just keeps coming off. So this is just who you get today. And if you are listening via podcast, well, then consider yourself lucky because this is as good as it's going to get. So I want to say thank you for joining me for day 4. If you have not been along with me for all of the previous days, it's all good. You are still going to be able to take a lot of info away from this. And today is focused all around supplements. So the reason that I talk about this last is because I think that we tend to do things in reverse of supporting our bodies. We want to run to the health food store, to the supplement section and buy all of the things and think that if we ingest those, that if we have the right intention and we put that into our body, that is going to heal whatever it is that's going on. And I'm a huge fan of supplements, but they play a role. They are not the main catalyst or the main level of support. So it is so important that you listen to days 1, 2, and 3 before initiating your PCOS preventative or supportive care plan for yourself, so that you understand why your digestive system and your gut health is of the utmost importance, that you understand why supporting your blood sugar, supporting your liver, your detoxification pathways are so important, that you understand the different prongs of movement that you can choose from and how to exercise and support your body, and most definitely your nutrition, the things that are coming into your system. That being said, there are certain nutrients, vitamins, minerals, specific supplements, herbs that can be very powerful and very helpful. I have opened up every single day, and today is no different in saying this. I don't know you personally. I don't know your medical history. I don't know what's going on with your system. How I tailor this, how my team and I tailor this for the clients that we work with, is we do consultations. We do very lengthy initial consultations with all of our women that come inside the Hormone Project. We are reviewing labs. We are asking deeper questions. We're going beyond the surface information to understand the timeline history of when your symptoms started, how long this has been going on, what else was accompanying this, and so much more. So very important to understand your base before running out to the store and just layering things on top. It's also very difficult. Every day people reach out on Instagram and say, like, I just have one quick question, and then download their life story and are like, what should I go buy? Legally, I can't even give you these types of recommendations in, an Instagram DM. And that's why we started doing these wellness advisor calls, is so that you could get on the phone with one of our team and we could discover more information and, help to kind of steer you in the right direction, but also determine if we are able to help you or support you. So please be very leery and careful when you're hearing somebody tout a certain supplement or a certain product, even the ones I'm going to talk to you about today. It's really important to make sure that you understand what you're putting in your body. Is there any contraindications? Are you taking too much? Are you taking too little? Sometimes that is the issue, is that when you're being recommended something in general terms, it's not a therapeutic dose. So, potentially you are taking your base nutrients like your magnesium, your vitamin D, your vitamin C, a really good quality methylated B complex, omega-3s, those types of things, but you're taking like the minimum baseline because you're trying to dose on your own and you're not working with someone who can look at your labs, listen to you, and help to put together a therapeutic approach. There's a very big difference. You have to understand that from a safety perspective, when you go into a supplement store, and you pick up any supplement bottle, anything that's there, whatever is on this label is what is referred to as GRAS, generally recognized as safe. And the RDA, the recommended daily amount on any supplement bottle, is for the general public as a certain age, as a child, the general public as a teen, as an adult. And that is so that they can safely be recommending a base amount to anyone without knowing their health history, without bringing harm. That is not a therapeutic dose. A therapeutic dose is going to need to be a little bit higher. It's going to need to be working with other synergistic nutrients and other products so that you are getting the bang for your buck that you are investing, but that your body is also getting a strong enough signaling mechanism to create the shift and the change in your body. Does that make sense how I'm explaining that to you? So that you understand how to be responsible with the supplements and with the products that you're using and that you're taking. Okay, so that's really important to know. And I always want to remind people of that, because people will get so frustrated and say, well, I take that, or I took that, or I tried that. Right. But did you take the general population amount, or did you work with someone and have a specific protocol put together based on your body and what you needed? Okay, so that is important to understand and to know. Okay, so I'm going to roll through what okay, this is not like in the world, these are my, as a practitioner, top supplements that I have found to be very effective when we're talking specifically about PCOS. Okay, so I'm not talking about endometriosis right now, adenomyosis. I'm not talking about fibroids. I'm not talking about anything else other than PCOS. Now, that being said, remember, when we have one issue of inflammation going on in our body, endocrine system, digestion, wherever it is, it's never happening in a container all by itself. So when we are moving the needle in one area of dis-ease or symptoms in our system, you're going to notice improvements in other areas as well. So the baseline that I like for women to be taking on a daily basis are a really good quality B complex, okay? So they need to be methylated. The methyl form of these B vitamins, B1, 2, 5, 6, 12, there's a whole family of them that work together. It's really important because that's the way that our body's going to be able to uptake and absorb it. And so, you know, company-wise, I don't know where you live. There's a lot of really good different brands. What I would recommend is that you are either working with a practitioner, or you are going into a really good quality health store and you're asking them, what's good quality? Just because something is super expensive doesn't mean it's the best quality. You know, I mean, I definitely please don't go buy your drugstore brands, your Costco brands, your Jameson, your Centrum. They're garbage. You know, they are not good quality, and you can just flip the label over and see there's artificial colors, there's artificial sweeteners. There's things in there that are not food and our body can't manage and work with. Different companies I really love. I love Designs for Health. I love Genestra. I love Thorne, Pure Encapsulation, AOR. I like Genuine Health. I like Asanta. There's all different companies for different things. I like Yarrow Formulas. I like Now Brand for certain things. Integrative Therapeutics. Biotics, there's a lot of different good companies out there. So you do need to do your research. This is no different than if you're going to buy a new car. You're not just walking in randomly and being like, I'll take that one, or I'll take the cheapest. That's your vehicle you drive in to get places. This is your vehicle of life, right? So be very, very particular about the quality that you put in. So B complex, super important. This is going to support your nervous system, your adrenals, and all your B vitamins are important mechanisms in every single other action and interaction that's happening in your body. Also making it more viable from a mitochondrial perspective, the cell health of your body for all those receptors to be able to uptake key active hormones like thyroid hormones, supporting your insulin, so many things. So those are important. Vitamin D is actually a hormone. It's a steroid hormone, and it is a modulator. Why we call it a vitamin, that is a whole nother story of advertising, marketing, money. But vitamin D is very important. Now, how much vitamin D? You really should go and get your vitamin D levels tested. In North America, it's going to cost you about $40 to get this done on your blood work. There are at-home kits, depending on where you live, that you can go online and you can order as well and do a prick test. For most people, it's a base of 2 to 3,000 international units a day, liquid, emulsion. Vitamin D3 is what you want. And it's, something that's liposomal so that there is some fat there. It is a fat soluble nutrient that we need to get into our body. I'm not a fan of pills and capsules for vitamin D. I really like liquid that you just drop into your mouth. Now, 2 to 3,000, again, that's a general low amount. Some people are going to do higher amounts, but you have to understand what your levels are. If you work with anybody doing hair trace mineral analysis and it shows you have a calcium shell, that for whatever reason, your body has built this up, taking too much vitamin D can actually interfere with that. So we want to get our vitamin D in. But you also want to think about the natural ways you can get it in, the food you're consuming, the fresh air and sunlight that you are getting. Get that light exposure, okay? That is another way you're going to support your cell health, is getting out into the natural light and into the fresh air. Magnesium is huge. Magnesium is our most powerful mineral that we have in our body. And it has more than 800 different functions on a daily basis because it is literally involved in every single one of your 10 major systems in your body and every single element of our cell health. So magnesium is important. There's many different types of magnesium. I've had Dr. Paul Herkel, who's one of my go-tos on magnesium, on my podcast, and we chatted about this. There's magnesium bisglycinate, which is a very highly absorbable form. I love it. I typically will have women taking anywhere from usually 400 to 600 milligrams. Most capsules are 150 to 200 milligrams, and they just usually aren't enough. A therapeutic dose for magnesium is about 5 times your body weight. So for most women, it's sitting somewhere between that 600 to 800, sometimes even 1,000 milligrams. Now, the type does matter. If you're someone that is constipated, you have sluggish bowels, and you've been doing a lot of magnesium citrate, it doesn't necessarily absorb in the same way. It is good to soften stool. It is a relaxing mineral. It can get things flowing. But if you're choosing that for constipation, now you just have very mucky stool. That isn't necessarily a good thing. It can be a temporary fix to help to get things moving, but that's not a long-term way of treating things. So I really love bisglycinate. If you've had concussions or a history of brain trauma or any type of head injury, magnesium threonate is very good for that. There's also carbonate. There are chelates. There's many different forms. Magnesium carbonate is very good where you're adding like fizziness. You can put it into your water and get it in, highly absorbable, getting straight into your cells. So do your research when you're looking at magnesium, but make sure you're getting magnesium in every single day. I take mine every night before bed. Our kids are 13 and 15. They both take it as well. Not necessarily every day, because if I literally don't put it under their face, they won't take it. But definitely when they're in from sports, or my daughter's working out now, and my son is playing hockey and basketball, when they're home from events, I'm giving them the citrate before they go to bed at night. Omega-3s, huge. Omega-3s are so important for our cellular health on that lipid layer. They're amazing for reducing inflammation throughout the body. So getting in a high quality source of omega-3s, fish oil if you can. If not, then looking for an algae-based one. And again, really good companies, a lot of the same ones that I mentioned previously. I really love Designs for Health. Theirs is very palatable, so you can just take it off the spoon and not feel like you're burping up, fish after. I know a lot of people just like to add it right into their smoothie. You can do small gel caps if you absolutely can't get the liquid down, but we're trying to bypass too much work on the digestive system. So the more of the, supplements and things you're choosing to take that can be in a tincture, a liquid, a powder, an emulsified version, something like that, it's just much easier on your system as a whole. And then you're going to get it, whether it's through your sublingual artery under the tongue or directly into your blood and into your system. So just some things to think about when you are choosing what you are taking. Okay. Now, a really powerful one that I use in my practice literally every single day. This is actually one of the main nutrients that we use as a supportive measurement inside the hormone project is called NAC. It's N-acetylcysteine, and NAC, it's naturally occurring in our bodies. It helps to increase our production of glutathione, which is our primary antioxidant. It is one of the most important detoxifiers that we have in our bodies. And there's a lot of studies that show that supplementation can be really effective for PCOS. It helps to improve insulin resistance. It helps to reduce some of those higher androgen testosterone levels. It can also help to support lowering hirsutism, the excess hair growth that a lot of women can have. And NAC can really help to promote more regular cycles because it is supporting the liver as well. So NAC is a really important one. I also really love it for immune system and immune function. Now, dosing wise, typically a minimum of 500 milligrams a day. Most capsules you'll find will be typically 500 or 600 milligram capsules. So usually 500 milligrams. When I am therapeutically dosing with PCOS clients, I am usually giving them about 500 to 600 milligrams 3 times a day for no less than about 6 months. So this is one that they're going to be on for a longer period of time. 6 months to me is about 2 full ovarian cycles that we're moving through. So 6 months sounds like a long time, but when you look at the mechanism of how it works in the body, it's really giving us about 2 seasons. And that's how you have to think of it. I really do like people having NAC with a meal. It's easier on the stomach. Some people are totally fine to take it on its own. But I do love NAC a lot. I think it's something that everybody needs to have in their home. Inositol is another really wonderful one specifically for PCOS. So I like a combination of my inositol and D-chiroinositol. And typically I will give clients up to, anywhere between 2 to 4 grams a day and have them add it into their water. So it could be in your regular water that you're drinking where you're adding in like your electrolytes or your salt or your BioSteel or your vitamin C, whatever it is, your glutamine, you can be adding that in. And that's what I really love about it too, is it's simple for women to incorporate. It's simple for your daughter to put into her water as well. Berberine. Berberine is another one of my absolute favorites for PCOS. For insulin issues, for gut issues, it is 100% always in my PCOS toolkit for clients. It has such an effective energy around supporting insulin resistance and creating that overall hormonal balance. There have been studies that I don't even need to talk about the studies. I see it in everyday humans. I see it in the women that we use it with over and over again. Typically for me, I'm dosing somewhere around 400 milligrams about 3 times a day. And again, for about 4 to 6 months, and watching like, how are the months going on? Any shifts and changes with their cravings, with their body weight, with their mood swings, with their breast tenderness, with their headaches, with water retention, with their menstrual cycle? Are we getting any spotting happening? Cervical mucus changing? Like, I'm looking for all of that. I want to see signs of ovulation. I want to see more menstrual regularity that's happening. And so I really love it. Now, if I'm working with somebody who's on blood thinners or beta blockers or antidepressants, I always will have them go and talk to their family doctor first. Usually I'll send them with some literature because the doctor most times has never heard of berberine. I do find I have greater success when I'm working with endocrinologists or OBGYNs on this than their regular family doctor. Okay. But berberine, again, friggin' incredible. Okay. Really good one. Spearmint. So think about spearmint tea. So having a couple of mugs of spearmint tea can be fantastic. Majority of the studies were done on women switching out their coffee or even their peppermint tea to spearmint tea, just 2 a day. And you don't even have to have it warm. You could put it into your water, toss 1 or 2 tea bags in there, leave it in there all day. Okay. Like, we make this mistake of using tea bags one time. With your tea, it's important. It is 100% organic. Okay. So a lot of those bags that are with your regular Tetley or those types of companies, they're all chemically bleached, and all those dioxins are making their way into the fluid and then into your body. So spearmint tea, this is a very, very simple one. It helps to reduce those higher androgens, very powerful at lowering the testosterone, which again is going to help with the hair growth, with the acne, and calming down a lot of that inflammation that's upregulating that aromatase action, where your body is trying to convert all that testosterone into estrogen, and things are going awry. So you can do dry leaf spearmint. If you were going to do like dry loose leaf, you would do about 2 teaspoons of that in your water, let it sit for about 10 minutes, sip and enjoy, or you can toss in your organic tea bags. Okay. Zinc is another one. So NAC and zinc right now, I think most people have in their homes because everybody is trying to support their immune system. Zinc is another one. You don't want to do this on an empty stomach. It can really make you feel nauseous. I was sharing yesterday on Instagram, I've been using a zinc spray for my throat, so much talking, but you don't want to use a spray for this. That's not going to be therapeutic. You have to take it internally. So yes, it supports the immune system, but it also helps to reduce any of the negative effects that excess testosterone. Remember, we're not trying to wipe out testosterone with PCOS. We need it. We are trying to help to regulate the amount that the ovaries are producing and the way in which our body is converting it into a healthy form of estradiol. All right. We're trying to manage the dam that is happening, the excess buildup. So getting in zinc, I typically like anywhere from 15 to 40, 45 milligrams a day. You 100% are going to have a meal with this. So a lot of, like, the one I take is 30 milligrams. I take one Zinc Supreme from Designs for Health. So like when I wasn't feeling good, I was taking 90 milligrams a day divided. So I was having it with my breakfast, I was having it with lunch, and I was having it with dinner. If you're doing it for PCOS, I would first start with about 15 to 30 milligrams a day. Have it at your meals. How do you feel with it? And then you can titrate up to that 45 milligram. But zinc is also a really good one. If one of your symptoms of PCOS is hair loss, and just elevated inflammation in the body, zinc is so powerful. When I talk about the way I do about magnesium, I have the same love affair for zinc. So it's so, so important. And, side note for your men in the house and for your boys, the saying is, zinc for your dink is very important for their reproductive health and for their prostate. So zinc is really for the whole family. Now, I also want to remind you, as I'm talking about these things, you do not need to go and take more than what I am saying. You taking more is not going to be more effective. You taking more could get in the way. We don't want to bombard our body. She is busy and has a lot of things she is doing day to day. So one of the ways that we also help you when we do work with you one-on-one inside the Hormone Project is to lay it out and explain to you, this is your specific protocol, Mary Lou, Anne, JJ, Amanda, this is what you are following. So it's stepping outside of like the general recommendations of your magnesium, your D, your omega, those types of things and all that. When we're getting into specificity around your hormones, when we're looking at blood labs, when we're looking at the Dutch test, when we're reading your GI map, we are now getting so granular about when you're taking, what you're taking, how much you're taking, how long you're taking it for. Okay. So really important. Don't think if zinc is going to do the thing, I'm going to go and take twice as much. Please don't do that. You'll probably also throw up because you will definitely get nauseous. Now, another one that I loved, I use this actually for myself. All these things we're talking about when I was dealing with really bad acne after I had my second child, my son, and that child just woke up all the androgens in my body, saw palmetto. And this was a big one as well, too. So it's a big needle mover. We keep talking about these needles. It's an herb that has historically been used for prostate health, for urinary health, and for reproductive health. And what is really good about it is because it's anti-androgenic, it can really help to reduce those higher levels of testosterone, either in production or slow down that aromatase that's shuttling things more down that 5-alpha reductase pathway, that more inflammatory pathway. It's interesting as a woman, it's very frustrating when you look at a lot of the research about saw palmetto. A lot of it is about the prostate. Even when I have women go and take saw palmetto or an anti-androgen supplement, it's literally called things like Prostate Supreme, Testo Quench, Prostate Health, Prostate, X. And I have to always say to them, don't get nervous when you're going and buying the bottle that says prostate, right? Like we are taking it for our ovary health. We are taking it for a different reason. So it's important to understand that. I typically dosing wise for that anywhere from usually like 200 to 400 milligrams of saw palmetto. I don't oftentimes give it by itself. It will be in combination with something else. So if you go into the health food store or when you're working with a practitioner, you will typically, like, I don't ever put anybody just on saw palmetto. I would have them on something else that maybe has things like the inositol with it, or some dim with it as well too, depending on her results. Turmeric, other things that are going to help to work together as a team. Because again, I'm looking for simplicity. I'm looking for bang for buck. I'm looking for teamwork. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to give her 20 different single things. That being said, I will tell you, when you are on a journey of really reclaiming your health, and depending on what your base has been, you have to realize you're probably going to be taking 5 to 6 baseline supplements that your body needs every day. Okay. Your healthy fats, your magnesium, your D, your B, probably a probiotic, depending on what's going on. Maybe, a multivitamin, or like for us, it's Juice Plus. That's going to be like your base. And then you're going to have the things you need to take that are supporting what's going on with your gut or what's going on with your liver and your drainage. And then you move through that. And then it's like, okay, now we can go after the insulin, the hormones, and those. And that's going to be a different, thing. So there's going to be times where you feel like, holy crap, I am taking a lot, but that shouldn't be your forever. Remember, we're talking 6, 9, 12 months, sometimes longer, but this is it really, in the grand scheme of things. Those of you who are suffering from PCOS, or those of you who are suffering from any hormonal issue, that baby didn't show up last night. Right? It's been hanging out and brewing for a long time. So in the grand scheme of things, when we think of how quickly the last 2 years of our life have gone by, what is your next 6 to 12 months worth to you? It's going to happen like this. So you might as well put the energy and effort into taking care of yourself with something that is actually going to yield some results. Okay. So really important to know. I also did a whole podcast episode. I think it was episode 215. So just a couple of weeks ago, on my favorite adaptogens, because with PCOS and, whether it's the higher androgens, or it's the insulin resistant, or it's the post pill, or it's the inflammatory and adrenal, your nervous system is taking a hit with what you've been experiencing and what you've been struggling with. And so supporting with key adaptogens can be very helpful to make you feel calmer, to make you feel more stable, to help you to stay really connected to your body. So if you go and listen to that podcast I did, it was on my favorite adaptogens. There's a lot of really good info in there. And so I think it's important to remember that using herbs and supplements for PCOS as part of your protocol is really helpful and really important. But you've got to remember the key foundational aspects of what you're doing for your health. Okay, your digestion, your drainage, your movement, your nutrition, your sleep, your recovery. And you have to understand that this doesn't have to be an all or nothing approach. You can combine a lot of these strategies and a lot of these different therapeutics that I'm talking about while still living your regular everyday life. But you've got to be patient. You really have to, keep your energy aligned and keep your eye on the prize here. Which one are you asking me to spell, JJ? Michelle, I don't know how old your girls are where you're asking about the inositol sap. That is a great one. It's from NFH is the company. So they can at that. And if anytime you're also worried about like how much could they take or that, you can always reach out to the company. Always reach out to the company. Any good company is going to, get back to you and let you know in terms of dosing and that. And again, it's like at 13 and 15, you wouldn't be giving it to them just because. They would be needing to show signs, right, of that. JJ, NAC is NAC. NAC. But yeah, and Michelle, you can give it to them for a couple of months, powder in water, and you'd be looking for some of those improvements, right? In terms of like their cravings, their relationship. It's funny, my daughter this morning, who, she's going to be 16 soon. And she was like, we were upstairs in the bathroom and she's getting ready for school. And she goes, ugh, I hate how you're always right about food. And I was like, what? And because she was, hanging out with her friends a lot in the last couple of weeks, and they were like eating out and, eating dairy and just having the things that teens do, getting the sugary drinks from Starbucks and doing all of that stuff. And of course, I don't know anything. And she's like, for the last week, I've been eating our food and I've been taking my lunch to school and I've been doing that. And like my skin is calming down. And I was like, I'm like, I get it. I get it. It friggin' sucks for them. They want to just, eat what their friends are eating and do the thing. And the really frustrating part is like, my daughter will say like, Mom, my friends treat their body like an absolute trash can and they have perfectly clear skin. I live here and do the things we do. And I am like, breaking out. And so it's frustrating. It's hard for them. It's also one of the reasons that I do run the test on my daughter. I run the Dutch. I've run it on her twice. We just did the kids' GI map testing we sent off yesterday. I mean, I do these things because it's just like whatever you do in your life for a living, like that's what you're passionate about. You understand the value in it. But for me, I just know that when we understand more about our chemistry and our data and our information in our body, we can make better decisions that can help us connect. So I know when my daughter and my son see their results, it's no longer just their annoying mom and dad who are telling them that they should be doing something else. It's not another rule we're trying to impart on them. They are our co-creators of their health. They become part of the process. And it's no different than when I'm working with a woman. This is the thing is it's like, I can't spend my days answering everyone's questions in Instagram and on Facebook and in email and all of that when they aren't understanding what I'm trying to explain to them because they haven't seen it for themselves yet. So it's like everyone will try to prevent themselves from investing in the test and spending the money and doing all of that. And it's like, then you are going to spend more time and more money guessing, buying this, buying that, and literally banging your head against the wall. Like it's where we are all moving this energetic thing called money out into our life and all these different areas and pods that probably aren't adding a lot of value, that are probably contributing to our stress. And yet we're sitting stressed and frustrated with our body and we're bashing her and we're, calling ourselves a lemon and that we're broken, but we're still not yet at a discomfort level where we will invest and do the thing that we know is going to make the difference. You've got to be committed to education. You have to. There's no way around it. No one else is going to fix this for you. The supplement isn't going to do it all by itself. You've got to understand what the heck is going on in my body, right? So anyways, needless to say, she'll probably still go back and eat all of the other things. I always laugh and say in my hormone project group, like there's days where I'm cleaning up the backpacks and I'm like, was your dinner last night? Like to my son, I'm like, did you eat Rolios or whatever those things are, those like circle things? Like, did you eat a bag of chips and Mentos for your dinner with your friends? Is that what you had? They're going to do it. We did it. God, I worked at McDonald's for 3 years. I was a crew trainer. I ran all the kids' birthday parties and look at what I do now. So don't stress. Keep it consistent at home. What you offer, what you do, what you teach, they will come back to it. I promise. I want to say thank you. I want to say thanks for joining me for the last couple of days. I want to say that if this is something that has really struck a chord with you, it's got you asking different questions and thinking different things about your health, or maybe you're a mama that's in here for your daughter, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Amanda from the team, hello@jenpike.com, or just drop into my DMs and Instagram and you can hop on with one of our wellness advisors. We don't charge you anything for that. Again, it's a conversation. And that's, I think, a lot of what more has to happen is it's not just this showing up and me giving you the info, it's you being part of it and the opportunity to ask the questions. So you can reach out to us for that. Also, stay tuned, please, because on February 16th, I am hosting a mother-daughter hormone project workshop. And I'm doing 2 different versions of this. And the first one is really geared towards mom understanding what is going on in her girls' bodies and what went on in her body, from literally the age of like 8, 9, 10 years old, all the way up into your 40s and your 50s. And so this is on February 16th. If you're on our email list, we're going to be sending everything out. You'll see it shared on social as well. Can you bring your daughter to this? You absolutely can. The languaging and the references and the material is going to be geared more towards you, the adult mother, listening, because you want to learn and understand more for your girls and for your boys as well too. This isn't just about, one gender learning and understanding. And then the second one that I'm going to be hosting is going to be more geared towards your girls at all ages, walking them through the journey of the signs and symptoms of what's going on in their body so that they feel more empowered, they feel more confident, they feel safe in their body, they don't feel embarrassed, ashamed, frightened by any of these changes. I really want to end the stigma that so many women grow up with because of how we felt as young girls when we weren't prepared to get our period, for the changes in our body, for all of the different things. I'm not here for that. I am here for creating bigger impact and for helping to shift and change that. So February 16th, it's going to be in the evening. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please mark it in your calendars. And that info is going to be coming out in the next couple of days. So, wish my mom knew more when I was younger. Well, you know what, Michelle, your mom still has opportunity to learn, and so do you, and so do your girls. And this is it, right? We don't always recognize and know what needs to be learned until we've come through a time or a situation in life where we wish we had known more, right? So it's never too late. Okay, I want to say thanks for joining me for the last couple of days. Any questions, any comments, feel free to reach out to us. And I will hopefully see some of you in the next round of this. Have a beautiful rest of your day and take care, everyone.